Hello, and this is Stan, back again. Many years ago, there was a TV program that was kind of a forerunner of the little bit of satire, sarcasm about the news of the week, and it was TW3. That was the week that was. TW3. That was the week that was. Well, every week is that way, but this week is the week. Truly, the week. This is the week where all of life and meaning and purpose, if we take it seriously, can come together. It not only is the celebration of the Easter resurrection of Jesus, but it's a way that we can learn about life and ourselves, and perhaps the purposes that God has given to us, not just to give us a ticket to eternity, but perhaps a way to understand how we can live and how we can do business. And because of that, I invite you to join us for the first session of our new entitled program, entitled The Jesus Entrepreneur, and it begins right now. And indeed, I do welcome you. My name is Stan Husted. I'm the leader, the co-founder of the Christian Entrepreneur Network, the Christian Entrepreneur Network, and we are really renovating the house over there and putting in new YouTube channels. We're going to be putting in a new and revised and growing and going website, a web stage. It's where we kind of perform and demonstrate what we do, not just describe what we do. So I hope you'll start heading over there on a regular basis, because every day there'll be something new that'll be of benefit to you as a Christian entrepreneur. TCEntrepreneur.org. TCEntrepreneur.org. I think you'll find it helpful and useful. And not only will you find some great articles, one I'm going to kind of put on you today as we get started on this Holy Week celebration, this commemoration, both celebration and commemoration, but a way for us to be confronted with the lives we're living and the future that's before us. So, please do so, and we'll keep in touch as our program goes and grows. Now, here's what we did. We renamed the program. In fact, it's actually the third name, but that's okay, because here's a little marketing lesson for you. Years ago, one of my favorite programs I learned a great deal was called Radio Today, and it was a very good kind of spiritual commentator who just talked about, the news of the day. Radio Today. I liked that. So we kind of started with that. But then we wanted to make sure people knew that it was a little bit edgy, and it's always going to be on the edge. So we named the program Radio on the Edge. And that was a nice title. Everybody in the focus group thought that was a good idea. You've gone through those marketing sessions. But more and more, it became clear to me that in today's world, curiosity has diminished. Now, when I was in radio originally, people were, I think, a little more curious. So you could use kind of a startling headline, or a headline where somebody would say, I wonder what that is. And they would be curious and they might tune in. My best story about that is a number of years ago, I had a seminar. And here was the name of the seminar. It was called, What Does a Pig Carrying Baseballs Have to Do with You and Your Business? That was the name of the title. What does a pig carrying baseballs have to do with marketing you and your business? It's a great program. I can do it again if you'd like. And one time when I was in New Orleans doing a workshop for this major insurance group, a lady came by and she walked into the seminar and she said to me, I don't really want to be here. I really want to go down to the seminar at the end of the hall. but I saw your title, and I just have to figure out what it's all about. And as soon as I do, I might leave, but I had to find out what that title was all about. Well, that was supposedly good marketing. But today, if people don't fully understand what it's about, even though it may be curious or they're kind of perplexed by it, there's a good chance they'll walk away from it, because if they don't know, curiosity won't be enough to bring them in. See how it's changing. You can use all kinds of fancy names, but as my friend Frank pointed out, he saw a truck going by in our village of Oro Valley, Arizona, and the name of the business was very simple: Oro Valley Plumbing. It's a plumbing company. Where is it? Oro Valley. That's all they said. That's all you need to know. If you're in Oro Valley and you need a plumber, this guy's there. And more, even though we'd like to have cute and clever and creative marketing titles and headlines and names for our companies, oftentimes what you have to do is you just have to come right out and say, this is what it's about. This is what we're going to talk about. The Christian Entrepreneur Network is committed to helping you grow as an entrepreneur. And that grow means three ways. First of all, you'll grow as a businessman or woman entrepreneur. You'll get better at it. You'll grow in your ability to market and perform in such a way that your business will grow. And in doing so, you will also find that we want you to grow in the relationship you have with the master entrepreneur. We want you to become a follower of Jesus. And to, as our little song often says, here's where we're at. We want to know Him more clearly. We want to love Him more dearly and, follow Him more nearly. Because that's the road to true success. So we're going to say, if that's who you are, then we're going to call you a Jesus entrepreneur. You're a Jesus-led entrepreneur. That's what you are. And so, if you say, I'm interested in learning about Jesus, I'm an entrepreneur, perhaps this program has something for me. And so we come right out and the Jesus Entrepreneur. Join us. This program is for you. So right now, we renamed the program. It was a bit of a marketing lesson, and you need to go through that same marketing lesson, and we can help you do that with some of our individual coaching and consulting. But right now, the program begins on this Holy Week, renamed. Radio Today was nice. Radio on the Edge, that was a little bit clever and creative. But the program is now The Jesus Entrepreneur. And we've got a great story about Jesus, and we're going to tell that to you right now on The Jesus Entrepreneur. And here we go. Again, my name is Stan Houston, along with my good friend and co-founder, Frank McKella, and a number of people who are coming alongside of us and joining us, and they're going to be on the radio program. Maybe you'd like to be one. Again, the radio program is called The Jesus Entrepreneur, and it's brought to you by the Christian Entrepreneur Network, a group that wants to include you as we walk well into the 21st century, which is going to be a challenging one, a difficult one, a tough one. And because of that, you need to be a Jesus entrepreneur, because as my title in the website for this week is, Jesus the Entrepreneur was smart. That's right. Let's talk about that. In case you never thought about it before, let me tell you, Jesus was smart. That's right. He was really smart. Now, we often forget that. Think of all the words you and others have oftentimes used to describe Jesus. Gentle Jesus, meek and mild. We use words like compassionate, wise, loving, Savior, and lots of other words to describe of all the things that go into describing his personality, the person himself, the practices, indeed the life of our Lord, even his commission and mission, and his eventual and eternal title, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. But smart is not usually one of them. Most people don't say, boy, Jesus was really smart. But he was, and that's important to know. One of the ways we see this is in one of his most famous sayings and teachings. One of my mentors says that if we want to understand anything about life in the gospel, we need to take this saying seriously, very seriously. Because here, in a modern paragraph and paraphrase, is what Jesus told them. Boys, if you're serious about following me and this saving the world deal, you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to live and follow me. And we're together going to have to trust the Father. You are going to have to be smart. And here is the line that describes that smartness. You're going to have to be gentle, kind, and caring, and soft as a dove. And you're going to have to be wise, savvy, sharp, and wily, like a snake. Yep, birds and snakes. That's what we're going to have to be, you and me, as Jesus entrepreneurs. Yep, that's what he said. The incredible paradox. We might say, well, Jesus, which one, what do you mean? Which is the most important? They're very different, in fact. They're kind of opposites. What are we supposed to be, gentle as a dove or wily as a snake? And with a smile, the smart Jesus would look us straight in the eye and say, yes. Yes. Which one? Bird or snake? Yes. Now, what do you think about that gentle as a bird and wise as a serpent stuff? Again, Jesus says yes. I'm beginning to understand just how wise Jesus was, how smart Jesus was, how brave Jesus was. One of my favorite films many years ago was the film Ben-Hur. And in that one line which touched me deeply, the galley slaves, of which Ben-Hur was one, are being taken to the galleys to do the work of rowing until they die. And one of the galley slaves on his way is particularly tough. And they stop in a little city of Nazareth to get some water. And the slaves run to the place where the water is and douse themselves and try and drink. And then all of a sudden the Roman legion commander, the centurion, says, "Not that guy! No water for him!" And Ben-Hur looks up in fear. And then all of a sudden we see the back of the man. Yeah, the man. And he reaches down and gets a bowl of water and gives it to Ben-Hur. And when the centurion turns and sees that someone is giving water to the slave he forbid, he runs up to him, and all of a sudden he catches a glimpse of who it is. He sees the face of God in a man, the man, and he backs off. The world steps aside for the man or woman who knows who they are and where they're going. The Jesus entrepreneur. That's what we want to be. We want to be like him. We want to know him. We want to love him. And we want to follow him more nearly. And because we are all called to be in the marketplace, you got to be in the world where you got to make your mark. You got to make a living. You got to build a business. You got to build compensation somewhere into your life. Someone has to pay you for doing something. Someone has to reward you for what you do for them. That's the world. And we believe we're called to be entrepreneurs, and we're called to follow the master entrepreneur. And so, here's what you call us. You call us Jesus Entrepreneurs. And that's what this program is about. It's not about a lot of theology. There'll be some of that. It's not about a lot of theory. There'll be some of that. But mostly, it's about how do we live? How do we live well? How do we live fully? How do we live creatively? How do we make a difference in our lives and maybe in the lives of others? Maybe in our world and maybe even in the world. How do we do that? We'd like to explore that together and see if we can't help one another do it together. That's the mission of the Jesus Entrepreneur. I'm Stan Houston, and that's the name of the program, the Jesus Entrepreneur. Your week is off to a good start. We'll be around 3 or 4 or 5 times this week. We'll see where the week leads us. But tomorrow, we're going to talk about another guy who ran into Jesus, and Jesus ran into him this week. The man's name is Pontius Pilate. And believe me, he had something very important to say. That's right. Today, it was birds and snakes. And tomorrow, it'll be something else that'll help us better understand what it means to be a Jesus entrepreneur. All the best and blessings to you. Hang on this week. Ask God to do something in your life this week that just might be new and unique. There's been a holy week for every year you've been alive. 39, 29, 59, 70 holy weeks, 80 holy weeks. Wouldn't it be nice if this week the master entrepreneur created something new and powerful that made this week just a little bit different and really something to remember? Let's make it so. Best and blessings. Till tomorrow. Bye for now.